when you asked the question, I knew I had a good photo somewhere that would give an example of kit that was recycled and reused, because with regards to Roman kit, within the Roman army in the imperial period, it belonged to the army. So if someone fell whilst wearing it, or perhaps they just left because they retired, or they were injured in such a way that they were given sort of honorary discharge, as it were, their kit would stay with the Legion. It would just be picked up by someone else. Enemy kit might be recycled, possibly recycled. Certainly within the legions, they had the abilities to take stuff, melt it down, recraft it, and perhaps make something else out of it, or use it for another purpose. The Romans were very good at not wasting stuff, particularly if you've got a legion or you've got an army camp somewhere. They're not going to waste anything. But let's get back to this helmet for a moment, and let's also talk about a couple of the aspects of it, because it's actually quite an interesting helmet, as it were. So this dates to the 1st century AD. It's of a basic design, a sort of template that you see with a lot of the Roman helmets. So it started in a way, big caveat there, in a way, with the Montefortino helmet in the sort of Republican period, which is effectively a reverse jockey's cap or baseball cap in a way. So you've got that neck guard. Here you've got a brow guard, but that neck guard isn't that substantial, with the one that I've got, the Gallic Age, which was mid 1st century AD. It's really quite big, and it sort of flounces out from the back of the helmet a bit. Less so here, obviously, but we can obviously understand that you have these variations, and it's really important to note that within certainly Roman helmets, you can almost do a weird kind of family tree. You've got different variations in different parts of the empire at different times, and that's just an example of that sort of thing happening. But here, going back to it, you've got some cheek pieces as well. These cheek pieces I don't think were found with the helmet, though this does both. I think both of these items, I think this was found in London. I think the cheek pieces were found in the River Thames. In any case, this was presumably produced in Roman Britain, or it was taken to Roman Britain. But it dates to the early 1st century AD, or 1st century AD. I suspect early 1st century AD, bearing on its design. There's a couple of other interesting elements to it. So there's actually a bit at the top where you could have attached a crest of some description. More interestingly for me, though, and this does make me think of an earlier version or earlier versions of this type of helmet, you've got the bits here. You can see it on the side just where it would have sat there. These are actually where you could put plumes in. And the earlier helmets of the Republican period apparently had featured feathers, and that was apparently to make the soldiers look taller. So yeah, okay, you're going to make things look good, impressive, battlefield psychology, all that sort of things going in. Now, back to the question we started with, and apologies for the tangent. So you're talking about whether or not people inherited it, or what happened to gear. So this apparently has, and I couldn't see it at the Legion, I can't find photos of it, but there are 4 names of individuals that are stamped on the neck guard, and these are thought to have been previous owners. So this would have had possibly 4 owners. Now, that might mean it was in use for decades by different people before it got discarded, or however else we found it. And perhaps we could see that as a common thing within Roman army, within the Roman kit. You wouldn't get rid of it. It was, again, it was given back to different people. New recruit comes on, here's your helmet, there we go. Oh, this was previously owned by so-and-so. Yeah, perhaps if you get to wear it for a few years and you do something substantially, you can put your name on it as well. Who knows? Anyway, I hope that helps give you a good example of recycling kit, which again was very important for the Roman army because it had to be so efficient, it couldn't afford waste.